Hey y'all, back again with another Love After Lockup review. So today Friday, they had a 2 hour finale. Episode 11, episode 12, technically. And then next week we'll be getting Life After Lockup. And y'all, when I was looking at this, I was like, whoa, this is going to be majority colored. Majority colored people. So, of course, I will more than likely review that as well, because some of the couples that I really liked from previous seasons of Life After Lockup, Love of Lockup, Love During Lockup, the trilogy I see on there. So I'm like, okay, cool. I guess we'll be, trucking forward with Life After Lockup. Love During, Love After, Life After. Yeah. And it's like everybody's pregnant. Everybody pregnant on there. I see we gonna be back with Aries and Cameron, and then what's the Hispanic people name? The wife that wouldn't let her husband go nowhere. I can't remember their names for nothing, but dude that look like French Montana, little knockoff French Montana. So yeah, we'll be continuing on with them. So let's go ahead and get started with the 2-part finale of Love After Lockup. So episode 11. So Brittany and Key-Rock. We see Brittany is still pouting about Key-Rock not wanting kids right now because he don't want to stop his transition, which I mean, I get it. One, he just got out. He been out for like, 2-3 weeks at this point, and you already wanting him to do this major life decision when y'all like 22, 24 years old. Like, y'all are very young still. If y'all get to 26, 27, 28, then it's like crunch time. Okay, what we finna do. But right now, I truly feel like Brittany is doing the most. And she's talking about how she's sad about all that she has had to sacrifice for this relationship. And we like, initially, I'm like, girl, everything that you sacrificed, you chose to sacrifice. Like, you quit hair school or whatever that he paid for. It's not like you sacrificed your time for real, because y'all was in jail together. It ain't like you've been waiting on him for years and years on end like the rest of the people on the show. But then I did remember her relationship with her father. I think since her father doesn't really approve, she don't see him and communicate with him as much as she would like to. I think if I remember correctly, her and the mom never was really all that close or something like that. So yeah. So she's sad about everything that she had to sacrifice. And she's like, well, do you even still want to get married? And he's like, of course I still want to get married. So they still on track to be married, but he's just not ready for kids at the moment. Next we see Brittany and Andy. Brittany is back in LJ, Georgia. She's been back for like a month. She talks about how she did have a backslide. She did use meth for a few weeks. She came home and, she was just so down about everything with Andy and annoyed and all that residual anger and the thoughts about another failed relationship. She thought that he was going to be able to save her from herself, essentially. So when he didn't, she was depressed about that. So she went to her drug of choice, which is meth. She used meth for a few weeks, but now she is clean. She said she took a drug test to be able to see her kids, and I'm like, how quickly does meth leave your system? How quickly does meth leave your system for you to be able to take a drug test a few weeks after using to be able to see your kids? And it's like, that should prove that you're not really fit to see your kids, because is that going to pop up on your test? So I was very confused about those things. So we see Andy fishing with his kids, and he tells them about Brittany. And he's just talking about how they broke up, and he's not with the daughter. He's with the other daughter, not the real vocal daughter, and then Barry. And Barry looked different, don't he? Barry got a beard or something. Barry looked different. I barely knew that was him. I barely knew that was Barry, y'all. So Brittany's in the store with one of her girlfriends that I think she said somebody she was locked up with, and they're getting a care package for Gracie. And she talks about how His wife hit me up. I had added him, like, you know, in a relationship with Andy, whatever, on Facebook. And his wife ended up contacting people that I knew, everybody that was a part of my family. And then she hit me up, telling me about these text messages and stuff like that. I think I'm jumping over to episode 12 now. But the wife hit her up. So she was annoyed by that because she didn't even know that he was still married. Next we see Anthony and Sheree. And y'all, this part was really sad. This part was really sad. So she was packing up his stuff because she felt like he was cheating. She went through his phone and she saw where he had been talking to other women. He had been texting other women. And he tried to take her phone from her. Well, let me see what you've been doing. And tries to take her phone from her. And Sheree says, I think he wasn't prepared for how strong I was. To me, that sounds like you... I'm not trying to make light of the situation. I promise I'm not. But to me, when she said he was surprised by how strong I was, I feel like she might have bodied him and threw him to the floor or something like that. Like, boy, give me my phone. Whap. Threw him to the floor or something like that. They get to arguing, and he still trying to get the phone from her and bit her on her back. And so I guess, you know, neighbors heard all this commotion and the police was called and the cops came out. She didn't press charges because if she had pressed charges, he would have went back to jail, and that's not what she wanted for him. So we see his mom had came to pick up his stuff, and the mom is, you know, she's not one of those apologists. She's not one of those terrible son apologists. The mama is with Sheree all the way. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. I can't believe he would do this. I signed that stuff for anger management. I sure did. And you gotta choose you, and you gotta do what's best for you and your son. And da da da. And I like that about his mama. Like, she not just gonna make excuses and coddle him because that's her son. She said, no, she a strong woman and she gotta do what's right for her. So Sheree was like, you know, this ain't nothing, you know, personal or whatever, but I need my key back from the mama. She's like, I don't want him having, she was in the confessional saying she don't want him or the mama having just free access to her house like that. So she did give the key back, and the mama, you know, no fuss, she gave the key back. She understood. And, you know, I guess they still gonna be in touch because they seem like they have a bit of a friendship, you know, even though it was based around her being with the son. And once the mom leaves, you know, they show that she's still wearing her ring. And she said she's keeping her ring on because she's hopeful for the future. She don't want it to just be over and done with. She's hoping that he gets better and they get back on track. So next we see Chelsea and Mikey. Mikey gets out to Ohio to spend some time with Chelsea and to meet her kids. The kids are nervous because they said it's been men in and out. It's been all type of men that she's been dating, and they have all yelled at them. Like, all the men have been so mean to the kids. Like she said, Chelsea said she's never been in a sober and healthy relationship, so of course that carried over to the kids if she had him in the house. So they're sitting there eating, and they see the police outside, and you know, for a minute they was making it all dramatic, like, oh my God, did you check in with your parole? Oh no, what the police outside for? And she's like, oh, I'm sure it's for you. And she points to the older son. He just kind of sitting there looking like, mm. And so they open the door, and it ends up being her bestie outside, the one that we saw her with in the previous seasons, Beth. She comes over to meet Mikey. And they had a good little conversation. I could appreciate Beth because when Beth had her one-on-one with Mikey, because one of the kids called Chelsea upstairs, she was like, you know, when you had your whole little situation with your stroke last year, I'm not gonna lie, I thought you was full of crap, you know. So I just wanted to let you know that, you know, I'm not carrying forward with that. We knew that it was real, and you know, just wanted to get that off my chest. I said, Beth, a real one. So Mikey had planned a date. He wanted to go horseback riding with Chelsea, but the kids were sick, so she was very hesitant about going. And Mikey is like, you got Gio for everything else. If them kids need Gio, call Gio. He right down the street, ain't it? So she finally is like, okay, cool, let's go on the date. You right, we got Gio to call in case the kids need anything. But as they're driving out to go horseback riding, she gets a text message from her son, Corey's parole officer, and he says they were supposed to be in court today. They had a 1:30 1:30 appointment basically at court. So she's freaking out. She's like, oh my God, they're going to take me to jail because, I'm the parent and everything, and he's not here. He's sick or whatever. So she's like, I'm going to the courthouse. I'm going to the courthouse. She goes to the courthouse. She's nervous. She's running in there or whatever. And, I think he said petty theft. I think when Mikey was in the car by himself, he said that Corey had ended up, like, stealing from a vending machine. Something crazy where it's like, come on, kids. Ended up stealing from a vending machine, and so that's why he got in trouble, got arrested, petty theft. He got to go to court. So next, Joy Nami and Red, that was a real simple one for this episode. Red is outside his mama house. He ain't even went in the house. He out there sad in the mud, trying to call Joy, come back, come back, come back. And she's like, I'm 5 hours away. We see her at the hotel taking a break or whatever. I guess it was nighttime by then. And she is just like, she is not going back to get him. She wants better for herself. She not finna deal with the bull, yada yada, blah blah. Lastly, we see Melissa and Louie. Louie got his teeth done, and he don't really like them. He's not feeling confident. He said his teeth are too big, but they tell him, you'll come back for a few appointments and we'll adjust them, to fit your mouth better so that, we see what really fits. But for now, this is what you're dealing with. So he's upset or whatever, but he's just kind of like, meh. The dental hygienist girl that the mama was trying to hook him up with, he asked her out on a date. She says she'll consider it. She goes ahead and gives him her number. He calls Melissa and basically is asking her how she feels about the teeth, what you think about my teeth. And she starts laughing at him and making fun of him about the new teeth. Like, she is such a butthole. I cannot stand Melissa. She is my least favorite on the show, y'all. She is so ridiculous. So that was episode 11. And for the finale, episode 12, we see Brittany and Key Rock. They go to Key Rock's older brother's gravesite. And I think he said his brother died right before he went to jail, basically. His brother died. He used to have been in the streets and everything, but he turned his life over to God and started ministering and stuff. But the brother was schizophrenic. The brother ended up walking like a terribly long way. I can't remember what state from what state, but states and states apart from each other. And he ended up getting hit by a train, I believe. And it was after he was like, that's crazy that the train is going on right now. And so Key Rock ends up doing his spoken word. He had a spoken word piece for the brother. And Brittany ends up praying for the brother, whatever. And it was just it was a moment to see, because we see them arguing a lot about having a baby, not having a baby, and things like that. But we can see that they are very intertwined as a family. Like I said, Brittany lives with him, his mother, and his brothers. And I'm sure even though she didn't know the brother that's deceased, she hears about him a lot because she lives probably, where he lived at some point. She probably sees pictures of him. The mom probably talks about him. The brother probably talks about him. So she still feels this closeness with him, even though she has not met him, because she's there with his family. So it was a nice little heartfelt moment that we saw. I think their update, I think they said Key Rock had chest surgery at the end of the episode. And I believe we'll see them on Life After. So next we see Brittany and Andy. Like I said, Andy's wife posted all of the text messages to Brittany on Facebook about how he's still texting her. They still kind of talking this, that, and the other. But Andy is like, how is all this going to be going on? How am I going to see her and be going out on dates with her if I'm way over here in Rome, Georgia? Like, that don't make no sense. So Andy's telling his kids about this, and the daughter is like, yeah, we liked her. She was real sweet. So I'm wondering what happened with him and the wife/ex-wife. So next we see, like I said, Brittany and her friend, they are in the store buying stuff for a care package. And her friend asks her, how do you have money? Like, where do you get your money from and everything? She's like, well, I still have a little bit of the money that Andy gave me, and my mom helps me out. And she's like, well, he still owes me $200 because he said that there would be a Brittany fund. He said that there would be a Brittany fund, and he had promised me $1,500 or whatever when I got out, but he gave me all of that but $200. So she texts him and asks him for the money. We see Andy get this is for Gracie's care package. So we see Andy gets the text message request for the money, and he's like, the kids are like, I know you're not going to send it. No, I'm not going to send it. No, I'm not going to send it. I'm going to go and block her number. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to block her number. Better yet, I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete the contact altogether. And we see Brittany in the store, and she's kind of like, you know what? I don't even want to like embarrass myself by asking him for money, and he's probably not gonna give it to me anyway. He doesn't even like Gracie, and it's like, girl, you already asked him. What you mean you're not gonna embarrass yourself asking for money? You already did. And then we see her in the confessional, and she's just like, she shows the phone. Andy done sent the $200, y'all. Such a wuss. And he sends a message like, there's the rest of your 1,500. Don't ask me for nothing else. I don't owe you nothing else. Blah, 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 blah. He's such a little wuss, y'all. Andy is such a wuss. So that's how their story ends off. I highly doubt that they're on the next one, because they don't need to be in no type of communications. They don't need to be nothing in with nothing and nothing. So next we see Asante and Renika, y'all. We thought we was done with them, didn't we? We see Asante with Renika. Asante got a new girlfriend. He ain't even with Auntie no more. Where's Auntie? He is, we still show him in the store that he buying flowers. Oh, I'm buying flowers for my girl. It's an anniversary. And they trying to, do that whole lead up. Like, ooh, is he buying flowers for Renika? No, it's a whole other girl. He been dating her for like a month or whatever. And that's just what it is. So we see Renika is having a party at her house. She's still in Atlanta for some reason. Why her behind didn't just go back to Ohio or wherever she's from is beyond me. Because I think she said she was in an Airbnb. It wasn't even like she had bought a house. I think she was in an Airbnb just to get settled and find a house or whatever. But she's having a party. All of her family and friends from wherever she's from is coming down, and we can see her kids. Like, I'm so excited to see my friends. I ain't seen my friends in a long time. So it seems like, they really get everybody to come down for their barbecue. And they asking her about Asante, and you still talk to him? Yeah, that's my man. I'm a ride for him. I'm a ride for him. I'm a ride for him. And they just kind of like, okay, well, why he ain't here? Where he at? Where he at? And we see Asante, he over at the girlfriend house. He bring the flowers, and she's like, oh, you want to watch a movie? You want to watch a movie? I'm going to cook you something, but we got to wait for the meat to thaw. Want to watch a movie? Want to watch a movie? And he's like, nah, I want to make a movie. So it seemed like they went on, did the do. And then he's like, oh, I need to smoke a cigarette. Let me step outside. He steps outside to FaceTime Renika. And they FaceTime, how you going to leave all this? You going to leave all this? And he like, girl, I love you, but you too much drama. You too much drama. And it's like, she too much drama? You had your other girlfriend wire her the money to get you out of jail. You slept with her, then left to go see the other girlfriend in the middle of the night to go get a phone. But Renika is the drama? These men and their audacity, y'all. These men and their audacity. So that was it on their story. Their little, conclusion at the end of the episode, of course, is that Asante died in a fatal car accident, and they show a clip of Renika in all white at the funeral. They said he's leaving behind 3 sons. I don't think we heard him talk about having 3 sons. I know when they was at the hotel and she had, caught him, he said something about a baby mama, but 3 sons? 3 sons, y'all. So he's leaving behind the 3 sons. Next, we see Chelsea and Mikey. Chelsea just seems a bit stressful. It seems like Chelsea is constantly on edge. She always got something going on. She always stressed about something. And poor Mikey just be trying to figure it out and get in where he fit in. And I just feel like I want better for Mikey. I do. So she's at the courthouse. She's coming out. Everything is fine. She didn't get arrested, clearly. They're not trying to arrest Corey. They just set him a new court date that they will both have to be at. But at this point, they're both stressed. So they're not going horseback riding because it's just too much on the day. Like I said, I just want Mikey to go back home and spend time with Hadley and find him a girl where he live at, so he don't have to leave Hadley again, because that baby is traumatized. She's like, I don't want you to leave, because it's gonna remind me of when you was in jail, and I'm gonna feel like I ain't gonna see you in a long time. And I don't want that for baby girl Hadley. She's just so sweet and mannerable, and she just seems like such a good kid. So now we see that they're going out for lunch, Chelsea and Mikey. Chelsea is late. We find out that she was supposed to be going to the daddy house. I don't know if the daddy was supposed to be meeting them there, or if she was supposed to be talking to the daddy. It seemed like the daddy was supposed to be meeting them there because she wanted them to talk. So he's mad that she's late, but really he's mad that she won't tell him where she got the money from, because she got $5,000 in her account. His thing is, if you're doing something illegal, I'm going to need to know, because I can't be around that type of stuff. Or if you got a sugar daddy, that means you cheating, and that ain't going to fly with me. And she's like, I don't want to tell him where I got my money from, because anytime I tell people about my money or about this, they steal from me. And my thing is like, girl, he already know you got the money. Him finding out where you got the money from ain't gonna make him more inclined to steal it from you. That really didn't make sense. But I'm not gonna discount her, because she is very traumatized and needs to heal from her past relationships. I feel like Chelsea needs to heal first, because she just be so traumatized about each and everything that happens in their relationship. And it's just so exhausting to see. I understand it, but it's so exhausting to see. So she finally tells him that, this money is from her mom's insurance policy. This is what she had left over. And she was just afraid that he was going to steal from her, because he was about to leave the restaurant. He got up and was putting his jacket on, and she got up and was like, stop. People staring at us. And sit down. Stop, acting childish. Be reasonable. Yada, yada, yada. She tells him, and they sit there and have a conversation about if he's really going to move to Ohio or not. So he takes a napkin and he's writing out the pros and cons of moving to Ohio. The pros is that he'll have a job, he has Chelsea, he's away from his old way of life. But the cons is that, probation, he's still on probation back in Ohio, and Hadley. And, Chelsea is like, I promise you I will work out a way, like we will find a way for you to see Hadley as much as possible. Because he was like, remember how you felt when you was down there with me for a few weeks, how you missed your kids and stuff? That's how I feel about Hadley. Like, come on now. And so she promises him that, she is going to make it possible to see Hadley and all of these things, and so that they won't have to be apart. So we'll see how that goes. So they're getting ready to leave the restaurant. They had drove separately, of course, because she was trying to get her dad to come along. So they're standing outside by the cars, and she's like, I love you, I appreciate you, and I'm about to give you the best sex of your life. And he's like, who, me? Me? You about to give me some sex? Really? Finally? It was hilarious. So he runs and gets in the car or whatever. And their little update at the end of the episode is that he had moved to Ohio, and they've been living together for 4 months at this point. Next, we have Joy Nomi and Red. He's calling, blowing her up. She's at the hotel. She's listening to the voicemail. She's ignoring the calls. And then we see that she does go back and get him, y'all. She goes back and gets Red. He's all types of excited. Oh, my sanctuary. I get to be in my sanctuary. I get to meet my son. Yada, yada, yada. So they ended up going to a break room. Like, the place where you can go in there and just smash all the stuff up. They end up going to a break room. And he's like, this is for that got you pregnant. This is for you cheated on me with. This is for that. This is for jail. And thanks for my son. But this is for that got you pregnant. And she's like, this is for all the you've been texting. This is for the 7 years. This is for that. They just doing the most in this little break room, y'all. I was cracking up. And so their update, he's still in New Mexico with her, and they planning on expanding the family. Joy, don't you have no baby by this man. Don't you have no baby by this man. And I think they're going to be on Life After too, because I feel like I remember seeing a preview where he's like, I got to tell you something. And she busts out crying. So I'm guessing that's when he tells her that he slept with Julie when he disappeared from the hotel. A mess. Next we see Melissa and Louie. lastly, I guess, lastly, we have Melissa and Louie. So Donna calls Louie and she's like, "Can you pick me up from my favorite watering hole?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Have you been drinking?" "No, I just had one beer, maybe two, maybe three." So he goes to pick her up from the bar. He goes in the bar and she is with her friend. And I'm like, this friend young, how they meet? Turns out the friend said that Donna and her grandma were really good friends. So I guess she would be around her grandma. So she knew Donna, her and Donna are friends. So they basically are trying to hook the friend and Louie up. And the friend doing the much, yeah, so what about your girlfriend? I heard she's a... That ain't how you start no conversation, letting somebody know that y'all be talking about him and talking about his relationship and all this crazy stuff. So that was annoying. I was annoyed for Louie in that moment. So Louie basically was like, "Nah, I'm not trying to get with you, girl. I'm not on that. Actually, I just got approved to go visit Melissa in New Jersey, so I'm going to go surprise her." He gets to New Jersey and he's going to surprise her at her job. He goes up to her job and she is flirting with customers. Like she got a favorite. She leaned across the bar, basically like holding hands with the dude. So when Louie walks in, she tries to like scoot away and the guy's just kind of like, and she's just like, "Well, what are you doing here?" She is not excited at all to see Louie. Not even a little bit. So I was like, "Oh, poor Louie." And it just seems like there's literally no pleasing Melissa. And that's what he said. He's like, "You mad? You say I need to man up. You say I need to do these things. But then when I do stuff to man up and show you that I'm wrong, you ain't happy about that neither. So, like, what's really popping here? Like, what's really going on?" And I'm with Louie. Like, you mad that he bought himself a car? Why? Did you want him to have to use Donna's car all the time? You mad that his mama went with him to the dentist appointment? Was it you gonna come down there and go to the dentist appointment? You mad that he came out here surprised? Weren't you mad that he wasn't taking steps to come see you and to act like he really wanted to move to New Jersey? Which is it, Melissa? Is it Uchiwali or is it one mic? The people want to know. I didn't pay no attention, but I really hope that we do not see them on Life After Lockup. Their story is exhausting and annoying, and you can tell they really don't even want to be with each other. Melissa just has this fantasy about Louie from high school and how he was the cool guy and how everybody wanted to date him, and she's hanging that over 20 years later. Like, girl, get over it. Y'all are grown adults now. Like, he is not super stud Louie from high school anymore. Like, it's so annoying. But yes, that is the finale of Love After Lockup. Like I said, next week they'll have Life After Lockup coming on, where we'll see some of our old faves. And yeah, that's really it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Make sure you like, thumbs up the video. Comment, let me know how you feel about the video. And just all of the things, y'all. I need to playlist my videos. I've noticed that I have not been playlisting it, putting it under, so it can easily be found to find all of the show's videos. So I'm going to probably do that today after I finish some other things up. But yeah, y'all, that's it. Make sure y'all have a good Sunday. Can't wait to watch Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine, especially tonight. And I also need to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. I just really remember that I didn't watch that last night, so I'll probably do that review tomorrow morning and then do Potomac and Married to Medicine Tuesday morning, because I like to watch Heavenly and Carlos's live to kind of get the tea, get a little background, stuff like that. Bye, y'all. Have a good day. Hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving.